Hello, everyone. It's June 24th, Thursday. I remind everyone to remember all those that we lost in the terrible flood and all those that had so much damage and everything. June 23rd, our 5th year anniversary of that terrible 2016 flood. Today, we've lost an additional 6 people since Tuesday. We still trend in the right way, but to these 6 people and all their loved ones, trend doesn't mean much, does it? The 2,871st death is a 68-year-old female from Cabell County. The 2,871st death is a 68-year-old female from Cabell County. The 2,872nd death is a 73-year-old male from Raleigh County. The 2,873rd death, a 46-year-old male from Upshur County. A 2,874th death, a 67-year-old female from Marion County. The 2,875th death, an 85-year-old female from Mingo County. And get this, and young people, please listen. The 2,876th death is a 31-year-old female from Mingo County. This killer can attack the young. We've all got to get vaccinated. I say it to you over and over and over. There's 2 lotteries going on. The one lottery that's going on is absolutely with baby dog and prizes and knowing you're safe with the vaccine. And the other lottery that's going on is a death lottery, to tell you the truth. Because if you don't take this vaccine, probably, there are names being called right along. And the overwhelming majority, it's almost unprecedented. The number of names that are being drawn are not vaccinated. So please, please get vaccinated. Don't enroll yourself every day in the death drawing. Try to enroll yourself in something that is good, something that will preserve your life and others around you. And not only that, have a real opportunity to win some really nice prizes. So everybody continues to plead with you. We got to get you vaccinated. We have 55 new cases in West Virginia today, and that is absolutely tremendous. Our positivity rating is at daily rating is at 1.41. It's great. Our cumulative continues to fall. It's at 5.04. We have active cases today in the state of West Virginia of 1,853. It's the first time that we've been under 2,000 active cases in West Virginia since August the 29th of 2020. Almost, 10 months we've been since we have been at that level. Now, our recovered cases are 159,015. You know, if you look at that, the top line and everything, as we continue to trend and everything, we're kind of holding our own. We're still a little bit better, but we're still holding our own. We have 95 people that are hospitalized and 29 in the ICU units. You know, that's really, you hate for anybody to be hospitalized or be in an ICU unit, but it's down and it's better. You know, we have no red counties. We have no orange counties. Look at our map. Look at our map. We have 1 yellow, 1 gold. We want to get the gold to yellow, and then we want to get them both to green. I remind the 65-year-olds, and I've done it and done it and done it. If you have any symptom at all, you got to go get tested. It's free. It's painless. Go get tested. And absolutely, if by chance you were to test positive, we can give you the antibodies to stop this thing, period. You got to go get tested. Eligibility is 12 and up. You know, I remind you to make sure you follow up and get your second shot. If you've had Pfizer or Moderna, if you've had Johnson & Johnson, you don't need a second shot. I encourage all of our parents and grandparents to help me with the younger folks. We got to get them vaccinated. We have to get them vaccinated. So far, we've had 300,000 that have registered for the Do It for Baby Dog Sweepstakes that we're doing. We'll have 5 more additional drawings. We'll be drawing every week for $1 million, and the last drawing will be for $1,588,000, and with the second drawing of $588,000 on that day. All you've got to do to be eligible, you got to be vaccinated with at least the first shot. And then all you've got to do is register, and you're in. We're giving away incredible trucks and scholarships to our kids, and lots and lots and lots of stuff. Wonderful hunting and fishing, hunting rifles, and hunting shotguns, and lifetime fishing and hunting licenses, and it's just a lot of really good stuff. And we do it with a taste of a smile and passing on hopefully some good fortune. And we do it with a little English bulldog, it's not really little now, but she just loves everybody, and it surely will put a smile on everybody's face. I'll never forget Nathan coming up with the saying, save a life, change a life. That's what this is all about. Okay, we're at 85.6% of our administration rate of our first and second doses. We want that to be at 100. We absolutely can't get there without you helping us, and to get people, out of this mindset of I don't need to take a vaccine. Well, you don't. You don't if you want to enroll yourself every single day in the death lottery, and I hate to call it that. It sounds cruel and everything else, but that's exactly what it is. I mean, those folks that aren't vaccinated every single day are taking a chance. Quit taking a chance. I mean, it is just that simple. We have 77.9%, almost 78% of our 50-year-olds and older that have at least the first dose. We have 86.1%, it's amazing, of our 65 and older that have at least one dose. Half the population has been fully vaccinated, that's at 52.1%. And we're at 62.7%. We're crawling every day toward that 65% level, with all of our eligible folks with at least one shot. As far as our businesses, manufacturing, our church, and everything outreach, if you have a business and you want us to come and vaccinate your folks, we'll be tickled to death to do it. The same with your congregations. The info line on COVID is up there. I encourage you again, take advantage of this free testing. It won't be here forever, but if you have any anxiety or anything whatsoever that would drive you any bad feeling, you're feeling bad, headache, whatever it may be, go get tested. I thank Fruth and I thank Walgreens over and over for all the great work that they did. We have 4 outbreaks in our long-term care facilities. We have 5 inmate cases and 3 staff cases in the state of West Virginia. Now, I want to lay this down because I want to clap for you. We have zero outbreaks in our church community right now. It couldn't be better. Couldn't be better. From the standpoint of giving blood and plasma, I encourage you every day about that. Please, at least consider it, especially if you've had the blessing from God above to recover from this terrible disease. Okay, this is really important too. From the standpoint of our DHHR and the West Virginia Department, I'm going to read all this, and the West Virginia Department of Education, we have received approval from the United States Department of Agriculture to issue pandemic EBT benefits to eligible children this summer. This is a pile of money that can go out to our families and our kids and everything that can help them get ready for school supplies or whatever it may be. Now, but pay really attention here. School-aged children are eligible if effective May 31st, May 31st, a month ago, right at it, 2021, they were enrolled in a school that participates in the National School Lunch Program. Gosh, dog, I've got a little tickle in my throat here. Let me start that again. School-aged children are eligible if effective May 31st, 2021, they were enrolled in school that participates in the National School Lunch Program in school year 2020 and 2021. School year 2020-2021. And qualified for free or reduced price school meals. So now I'm going to read this one more time because this is really important. School-aged children are eligible if effective May 31st, 2021, last May, they were enrolled in a school at that time that participates in the school lunch program. In the school year, and they participated in the school lunch program in the year 2020-21 and qualified for the free or reduced price school meals. Children under the age of 6 are eligible if they are in a household that receives supplemental nutrition assistance program benefits. Benefits will be loaded onto existing PEBT cards that will be issued during the 2020-21 program years. The state will issue a one-time benefit of $375 per child to be eligible to every eligible child. Benefits are scheduled to be released in mid-July. Now get this. There's 222,395 school children that we are estimating that approximately $83.4 million will flow to the families of West Virginians for these school children. You know, there's all the guidance on the PEBT, you know, for the upcoming school year will all be up on our website and everything, and more information will be available to everybody. So it's a great big deal. It's, you know, can help all of our kids and our families and everything. Take advantage of this. It's really good, really good. Okay, on June the 9th, on our Parkways Authority bond sale, on June the 9th, we went to the market. You know, I'm a firm believer that the market truly realizes just how great West Virginia is doing all across the board. A lot of times we don't realize it within our state as much as we should. We should absolutely continue to be proud of our own pond, but some way, somehow, sometimes we just miss the fact of just how good West Virginia is really doing. The bottom line of the whole thing is we went to the market on June the 9th, you know, on $333 million of bonds, you know, to raise that for road and bridge construction. We ended up with an extra gosh, it's amazing, an extra $90 million, you know, for the Roads to Prosperity Highway construction and maintenance program. The state's excellent rating and, you know, bond rating and everything is driving this whole thing and you know, and allowed for a 2.62 average percentage rate over a 30-year payback. Projects to be paid for, you know, through this bond sale include this, and this I'm really, really, really proud of. $203 million, you know, on a section of the Coalfield Expressway to build a 4-lane road from West Virginia 16 near Pineville to Welch in McDowell County. Boy, that's great. That is absolutely wonderful. Because we're going to some way, somehow, you know, through, we hope, you know, the infrastructure bill is coming out. We're going to some way, somehow, you know, absolutely, we're going to do everything we possibly can to complete, you know, Corridor H, absolutely the Coalfield Expressway. You know, we're going to connect the Eastern Panhandle and the central part of this state to the world, as well as connect the southern part of the state, which is badly needed, to the world. We're going to try with all in us to pull that off, but this is another step in that direction. I commend our highway department, Bert White, Jimmy Riston, and all those folks have done phenomenal work. Jeff Miller's doing great work with parkways, and we're just getting it done, and that's really, really good. There's $19 million that's going to build a new roadway and bridge to ease congestion into Davis Creek and the Corridor G area in Kanawha County. There's portions, there's dollars that's going to go to help, around the Beckley the Beckley Z-Way, and also there's going to be improvements to Route 60 between Shillian and Montgomery, and a bunch more, but those are the primaries. The other thing I promised you is that Workforce Director Scott Atkins would be on with us today. He's on. They have concluded the investigation of the potential security incident and everything, and I'm sure that Scott will answer any questions or update you on that. But that's all I've got right now. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Governor. Let's now go to Dr. Clay Marsh, our coronavirus czar.
Well, good afternoon. I want to reinforce what the governor has shared with us. So there is some new data, new studies that have come out that basically underscores what the governor said, in that 98 to 99% of the deaths that we're seeing in the U.S. today from COVID-19 are impacting people that have not been vaccinated. And so as we look at the ability of vaccines to work, this is probably the most important information that we have seen to date, in that almost everyone now who is dying of COVID-19 in this country has been a citizen that has chosen not to be vaccinated. And it really does redemonstrate the incredible potency and effectiveness of these vaccines. As we said before, we know that for the variant that is coming, the Delta variant, then 2 doses are really important to get. So we really encourage all West Virginians and all Americans who have not finished the 2 doses of their vaccines to get that. It's also interesting that we had talked a lot at the very beginning of the pandemic about the reproductive value, the R0 or the RT value. And if we look at the initial virus from Wuhan, China, that RT value was about 2.3 to 2.7, which means that a single person infected would tend to infect 2.3 to 2.7 other people. When we look at the Delta variant, or the Alpha variant, the variant from the United Kingdom, the UK variant, which is the most common variant in West Virginia right now, we see now that the reproductive value of that virus is between 3 and 4. And so as we look at the UK variant, we see that that's stepped up from the native. We now are finding that the Delta variant has a reproductive value, that R0 or RT value, of between 5 and 8. So the initial virus had the ability to, one person infected, to infect 2.3 to 2.7 new people. The UK variant has the ability for one person to infect between 3 and 4 new people, and the Delta variant has the ability to infect between 5 and 8 new people. So you can see how much more infectious the Delta variant is, and that's the reason why we are very, very much encouraging all West Virginians to choose to be vaccinated, and choose to be vaccinated now, because it does take both doses and 2 weeks after that final dose to get the most protection. The only other 2 things I will say in data that's come out recently is that today in the US, 22.4% of all new COVID-19 cases are occurring in children. So that's about a quarter of all new COVID cases are occurring in children. And although children tend not to develop quite as severe problems with COVID-19, we also know that COVID-19 as a cause of death is easily within the top 10 causes of death of children in our country over the past year, which is sobering. And also that we know that vaccines prevent this. So it's really important as we look at our children, particularly our children over 12 and over, who are today eligible for the vaccine, that we really, again, double down and make sure that we are affording them the opportunity for good health and long life without having COVID interfere with that by getting them vaccinated. And right now with the Pfizer vaccine, which is the one that's approved, and pretty soon we should see that also be available for children that are younger. The last thing I will say is in data from the Centers for Disease Control, our lifespan in our country went down by a complete year last year, partially because of COVID. But remember, we've seen that lifespan going down because of substance use disorder and other problems. So it really does underscore to save lives, to improve outcomes, to protect ourselves, to protect each other, to get back to the normal life that we all love and do it safely and do it for a long time. Vaccines are really the answer. And we hope that everybody who's listening to this, or everybody who's choosing who's not been vaccinated, chooses to get vaccinated as quickly as possible. So thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Marsh. Next is Scott Adkins, the Director of Workforce West Virginia.
Hey, good afternoon. Thanks, Jordan. On April 13th of this year, Workforce learned that an unauthorized individual accessed the MAC Job Seeker database. If you registered for unemployment in West Virginia prior to the pandemic, you had to also register for job service. This is the database that you registered in that contained all your personal information. Upon discovery, Workforce took immediate steps to secure the network. The MAC system was down about 45 days to account for an investigation. We also hired an experienced computer forensic firm to help determine what happened and what information that may have been accessed. Workforce's investigation determined that during the incident, there was a possibility that some personal information may have been accessed. But let me say this too, the forensic team also notified Workforce there was no indication that any data was extracted from the database. So the information was accessed, but there's no forensic evidence that would demonstrate that any information or personal information was extracted from the database. Workforce is committed to protecting the confidentiality and security of the information that we contain or maintain. We take this incident very seriously. Although Workforce has no evidence that the information was misused in any way, we wanted to let folks know. So a letter was sent out to everyone that potentially could have had their information in the MAC system accessed. Workforce is offering a year's worth of credit reporting monitoring, $1 million in identity fraud loss reimbursement, fraud consultation, identity theft restoration, and so forth. Workforce has taken several actions since the incident to improve the security of the MAC system. We've instituted different software. We changed processes internally to make sure that we mitigate or prevent this from happening in the future. So just to sum it up, there's no indication that any data was extracted from the database. However, we did send a letter out as a precaution to let folks know to be on the lookout at their credit and to give them the opportunity to monitor their credit through one of the 3 credit bureaus. Thank you.
Thank you, Director. Secretary Bill Crouch with the DHHR is also joining us today and is available for questions. Dr. Ayn Amjad and retired Major General Jim Hoyer had prior engagements today, and they will rejoin us next week. We'll now go to questions from members of the media. The first today from Charles Young with WV News.
Hi, this is Charles Young with WV News. Governor, earlier when you mentioned COVID-19 testing, you said that it wouldn't be here forever. Is that an indication that the state is considering stopping COVID-19 testing or reducing the number of sites that we have out there now that we see the pandemic beginning to lessen a bit? Thank you.
Charles, I don't think we're ready to do that yet, but we've all got to realize just, one thing that, we will continue to test for COVID as long as we got to, and as long as COVID's around. You know, from the standpoint of my statement that COVID won't be here forever, well, God knows I hope and pray in every way that that we just stomp the life out of this terrible killer and it's gone forever, you know. And I really believe that we will win that battle ultimately. But I mean, if we believe that COVID was going to stay with us forevermore, you know, and it may, you know, I mean, really and truly, it may be something that we've got to contend with like the flu, you know, and we may have to continue vaccinating, you know, for who knows how long. And it may go on for, it may very well be that the vaccines become, or maybe they already are, you know, they become so good that it's just like, you know, taking, you know, the measles vaccine or whatever it may be, you know, the polio vaccines, you know, so you know, Charles, but we're still in our infancy about this in a lot of ways, and I hope and pray that people would just listen to Dr. Marsh. You know, one of the notes that I made just a second ago was, how can you look at this man? How can you look at this man sitting there in his doctor's coat, you know, and his MD on him, and a man that has knowledge beyond belief and is our coronavirus czar, and a good man, good man with a good heart and everything, and he's just wanting nothing but good. How can you look at that man with all that incredible intelligence and that heart of just gold and a good man? How can you look at him and say, Neff, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to take this shot. I'm not going to take this vaccine. How can you do that? How can you defy, you know, an intelligence beyond belief, an expert beyond belief, a good man that is trying to help you, and just say, turn your back? I just don't get it. But Charles, this thing could go on. I mean, it really could. It could go on, and we'll do whatever we got to do. We'll continue to test if we need to continue to test, and it'd surely be premature to stop that now. From a standpoint of continue to vaccinate and everything, we'll just do what we got to do.
All right, thank you, Charles. Next to Kimberly Keggy with WSAZ.
Hi there. Good afternoon. I had a question for Scott Atkins with Workforce West Virginia. We have taken a lot of calls to our newsroom about the breach that we've seen. And, you know, something that we've heard a lot is a lot of our constituents are worried about why it took so long for them to be notified, and kind of the safeguard practices. Can you kind of elaborate what you guys have put in place?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great question, Kimberly. And we've received a few calls too from folks who are concerned that it may have taken so long. I can assure you that the 45 days the MAC was down, we had numerous teams looking at what exactly happened with the database. It took the forensic team several weeks to get into the system to figure out, one, if there was a breach, and two, was there any information extracted from the breach, and then three, identify all those folks that potentially could have their information looked at. So as soon as the forensic team came back with their analysis and their determinations, we actually worked with what's called a breach coach. It's a law firm that's on contract through the Board of Risk and Insurance Management to help us navigate this particular issue. And so those letters went out as quickly as we were comfortable with notifying folks of what actually happened or what could have happened, and then getting in place all the different credit monitoring opportunities so that folks who are worried about that, and I would encourage anybody watching today, and Kimberly, if you could get your viewers too, take advantage of that. There's a toll-free number on the letter that was sent out. There's 2 sheets of background information about credit monitoring. So even if you don't suspect, and we don't suspect at Workforce, that any data was extracted, still take advantage of it. It's there for you. If your viewers will take advantage of that, register online. You can call an 800 number and register as well, but you get that free monitoring service for a year. There's also instructions in that document that will tell folks how to freeze your credit with all 3 credit bureaus. That's free as well. And so there's a lot of opportunities for people who may have had their information looked at to protect themselves. So even though it may seem on its face that it took a number of days to do it, we were doing our due diligence, working with our breach coach and all the folks who are experts in this arena to make sure that we got it right and got it out as quickly as possible.
All right, thank you, Kimberly. Next to Michael Baldwin with WDTV.
Hello, my question is also for workforce, Mr. Atkins. Sir, I just wanted to ask you a question. When you guys learned about this and you did your investigation, is there a reason why you did not send out a press release? I understand you sent out mail, but people could move, mail could be destroyed. I mean, is there a reason why you didn't contact the media? I just wanted to know what the process was for that. Can you also tell us how many people do you think were affected by this? And finally, I know that my staff has contacted Workforce for over the last year. We haven't gotten a single returned email for media inquiries, not one. Do you have a media person, and will you commit to responding to our, at least, and everybody else's media inquiries? Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And let me apologize if you have questions for Workforce that aren't getting answered from the media. I'm happy to talk to you offline, but yes, we do have media folks through the Department of Commerce that responds to any inquiries as it relates to workforce or unemployment. So I apologize for that. I'm not sure where that issue exists, but I'm happy to take a look at it. And absolutely, we work hard to be transparent. As you can imagine, with the influx of federal dollars, all the different programs, all the different issues around unemployment since middle of March of 2020, I can tell you we've sent out over $3 billion in unemployment benefits to nearly 400,000 West Virginians. And so it has been a monumental task. And so I apologize if things have been a little slow in responding, but I'm happy to take a look at that. As far as a press release, as soon as the breach was determined, we were coached by our breach coach to hold off and not do that until we had till we could fully disclose the extent of what happened or what could have happened. And so that's why the notices went out 45 days later after we determined there was a compromise in the MAC system.
All right, thank you, Michael. Governor, I'll turn it back to you.
Okay, well, I'll just conclude with just this. We got a lot of good news that's going on. We got all of our counties in our state that are green except 2. We're working hard toward that. We don't have any outbreaks in our churches right now. It's all good news and everything. The only thing, and I don't want to end with on a bad note and everything, but keep these 6 folks that we've lost in your prayers. And absolutely, if you know them, reach out. We just don't want anybody to feel any tidbit of loneliness. Now, let me just end by just saying this, and I really appreciate you listening and listen close. The flu vaccine, probably the normal flu vaccine, if you take that shot and everything, and we've all gotten in kind of a routine to take the flu shot and everything, the flu shot's about 60%, I think, about 60% effective. So that means, 6 out of 10 times you're not going to get the flu, but 4 out of 10 times you may very well get it. God gave us a miracle beyond belief. He gave us a vaccine with a 98% effectiveness or whatever it may be. He gave us a vaccine in a matter of 10 months when it normally would take years and years and years. Now, I give an awful lot of credit to President Trump for his team stepping up and funding all that research and getting it to us as quickly as he did. But nevertheless, it came to us with a 95%, and nobody could believe it. It was unbelievable. And now it's believed at 98% effectiveness. I don't know how you look at that other than a miracle from God. And with all of that, the statistics all are telling us that if you don't take that vaccine, overwhelmingly almost nobody takes it and dies. But yet we continue to just mound up the body bags, don't we? And the other thing I want to tell you is just this. is we have a variant out there, this Delta variant. Now, everybody out there, I know the sun's shining, and I know that, you know, that there's a lot of you that are heading to Myrtle Beach, and a lot of you that are doing a lot of fun stuff, whether it be picnics or going fishing or whatever. And it's easy to forget that this thing is still right here with us. But we know this, that Delta variant is nasty. And we know that you need both of your shots. And we know that you're very, very, very foolish to not get vaccinated. We know now that 22.4% of the new cases that we're getting with COVID are kids. So we know we got to get our kids vaccinated. You know, and we're trying like crazy to help you to say yes to this whole thing. We're trying with all in. I've got to end with just this. You know, I talk to him nonstop. You know, Clay Marsh, Dr. Clay Marsh, is an incredible man. He's an easygoing man. He's a man that really, really cares about West Virginia. He cares about community. I've known him for a long time. And in our first discussions, he was really excited way back before COVID ever became on our radar, way back before Jim Justice ever became your governor. He was really excited about what could be done in West Virginia to help our communities, have better communities, better health, better safety, better everything in our communities, more job opportunities, more everything. Absolutely a good man. Really super smart. That's all there is to it. A man that's sitting right there every day telling you got to go get vaccinated. And if I can't imagine just turn my back on it and say, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Well, when you turn your back and say, nope, I'm not doing that, all you're doing is entering the death drawing. There were six today. How many is there going to be the next time we sit down? How many is there going to be on next Tuesday? I'm betting it'll be 8 or 9. I mean, if I knew, and then I'll quit, if I knew for certain that there was going to be 8 or 9 people die by next Tuesday, and I could be one of them if I don't take the vaccine, what in the world do you think I would do? I mean, I would run over top of somebody because I don't want to take the chance when the wheel spins that it could come up Jim Justice. I don't want to take that chance. And if I know that 8 or 9 are going to die by next Tuesday, what am I doing taking a chance? And what are you doing, children? What are you doing, grandparents? What are you doing, parents, if you are allowing and not encouraging your family members to get vaccinated? Look, we worry about our kids, or we worry about whomever driving. You know, we tell our grandparents or our kids when they leave the house and they're going, maybe they're driving from Princeton to Charleston, be careful now. Be careful on the road. Watch what you're doing. You know, are your tires, do you have the right air pressure in your tires? You filled up the gas and everything. Be careful. Be careful what you're doing. If we knew that by next Tuesday, 8 or 9 of them would die for sure, and we know they're going to die. 8 or 9 of them are going to die. We don't know who it's going to be. The wheel spins. Help me get these people vaccinated where they're not in that drawing. Thank you so much. I love you with all my soul. We really done good, West Virginia, but we got to get across the finish line. Keep pushing. Keep really trying. We'll get there. Thank you so much.